Let me ask you this. You ever feel like you're working hard to get into that VIP room of your life, but the bouncer keeps blocking your entrance? You're working hard for self-improvement, but you don't know how to get into that room. I got the secret password. I'm gonna tell some stories, so watch till the end so that you can figure out how to create your own mindful practice to get past that bouncer. You'll be partying in no time. Let's get it. Peace, finders. I'm called Dashawn Is, by the way. Let's clear the crust from this third eyelid so we can all see clearly. Now, if you're really trying to get into that VIP room, aka personal growth, you're gonna need the secret password, finding alignment. Finding alignment consists of 3 components. Shut the fuck up, listen the fuck up, get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. Self-discovery. That leads to figuring out who you are, what you really love, and what loves you. And that inevitably will make you want to start getting out into the world and living your best life ahora mismo. Before we can ever really do, have, and be whatever we want, we have to first indulge in self-discovery. I say indulge because, it's really a first world problem. If you're living in a third world country, you probably don't have time to think about this kind of stuff. However, there's no better investment in the world than to know thyself. When you figure you out, that leads to the next part, which is figuring out what you really love. It's an inevitable part of self-discovery, and it's the fun part too, figuring out what you want. Understanding and knowing your natural talents and loves and tastes inevitably lead to self-improvement. But let's be real. In this ever-changing, chaotic world, you might not have even had a chance to really sit down and think about this stuff. But I promise, when you invest the time to figure out what makes you geeked, what gets you excited about stuff, it's going to lead to this next part. Living out loud is self-improvement on display. If you've understood the assignment, the goal of self-improvement, then you understand that the living out loud part is self-improvement. And the act of walking in what brings you joy means that self-improvement is perpetual. Can, won't, don't stop. So if it's that easy, why isn't everybody doing it? Because human beings are lazy, insecure, shook, confused, brainwashed. And by the way, why haven't you done it? Exactly. All of us feel these things, one or all of these things at some point in our lives. It's a part of the human condition. So if you're human, you know what I'm talking about. You've been through this. But the beauty part about this part is that you can take part in changing said condition. We do this by conditioning our minds to block our blocks. I'll expound on that later and share some tools, so stick around. And did I mention environmental conditions? Society has its rules. Businesses and governments have their agendas. And everybody you know thinks they know how you should be living your life better than you do. How does that work? I'm sure there are a million more challenges we can talk about, but here we talk about solutions, so let's get to it. Let's say you watch this video until the end. You now have the tools to get into alignment with things that are important to you. Now what? What's next? Now you should start seeing that knowing who you are, what you're really about, what you love and what loves you, and you go out into the world, you'll start to really understand what you value most. You start to see what new goals you should set, and you start to see how all these things marry together and it forms right actions. Say, for example, you get silent, right? And you realize, like, hey, I really love music, but you don't know how to play music. You might not even have an instrument in mind. Mine is the drums. And so since you now understand this and you don't have an in, maybe you should start hanging out with musicians, for example. Start listening to music that you really like, that you wish you could make, or the type of genre of music that you really like. Start listening to that stuff. Listen to stuff you don't know about. Start hanging out with musicians. Go to shows. Talk to people about music. If you realize that you love music and you like to make it, but you don't know the entry point, Start moving in that direction, because now you understand that this love you have for music is valuable. Now you want to find yourself in alignment with it, then you need to take these sort of steps. Go meet people that love music you like, love music you don't like, work at a record store, you know what I'm saying, do a podcast about music and break down lyrics and stuff like that. Like whatever it is sparks your interest, your taste, are in alignment with your talents. You see what I'm saying? You're starting to get into alignment with the things that you love. Obviously, music is just one example. You might be a doctor, you might be a paleontologist, whatever it is. Get into alignment and start moving in that direction, and you'll start to see how your life naturally improves, because now you are following the things that you love. Now you're starting to walk your talk. You feel me? One day you'll wake up and realize, like, yo, I'm living life lovely right now. I started doing the thing, and now I'm a musician, or now I'm a doctor, or now I'm a skydive instructor. You've improved yourself simply by living in alignment with what you love and what loves you. Here's one of my many stories about finding alignment in my own journey. But before we go, if you're finding value in this, please like, share, and subscribe below. Come rock with me. And if you got suggestions, leave them in the comment. Several years ago, I was almost on the street homeless. I actually lived in the Venice Beach hostel in Southern California, and I had overstayed my welcome. Basically, I moved out to LA on some love shit that didn't work out. So basically, I had to live in a hostel for a minute. If you don't know what a hostel is, it's like a cheap hotel for world travelers. Some of these sort of places, if you're a local person, you can't really stay there. It's really for foreigners coming in. But because I wasn't at the time yet an LA resident, I was kind of able to sneak in there and kick it for a minute. But then my time was running out, so I was about to be on the street type homeless. So one day I'm hanging out with a homie who could sense that my vibe was kind of low. So, he asked me what's good, and I explained my situation, told him what was up, and he's like, yo, I got you. This friend happened to come from money, so, I probably could have asked him, and he probably would have just helped me if I asked him ahead of time, but that's not really how I rock. So, and that's actually a block for me, you know what I'm saying? It's still difficult for me, who is independent by nature, to be helped by others. And I am being helped. All of us are in some capacity. I do have loving people in my friends, family network who look out for me, challenge me and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, for a person like me, it's very difficult to ask for help. I'm getting better, but that's what this is about, right? Finding alignment and finding the things that are blocking you from being your best self. And as you can see, we are always a work in progress. From birth to death, we should always be trying to improve ourselves like this. Basically, he was able to help me get an apartment, which helped me get a peace of mind. I was able to sit quietly with myself and listen and hear and feel and imagine. I was able to connect to spirit, to me. In that space, I recognize who I really am and what I really wanted at that moment. So in that quietude, I asked myself, if it's true that we write our own script, we're the co-creators of this life experience that we're having, what do I want to do next? What's most important to me in this moment? Like what is it that I really want from my life experience? And after a little bit of deliberation and imagination, I realized that what I wanted was a good, solid, steady paying job that not only allowed me to, eat and be comfortable and at peace, but also help people, because I believe that that's a part of what my journey and my mandate on planet Earth is I'm here to be of service to other human beings and share the things that I'm learning, so that people who haven't figured it out yet can get a little leg up, or people who just like to talk about this stuff to stay motivated. Like that's what I felt like my journey was. At that time, I didn't have a specific job in mind. I just knew that I wanted to be of service, get paid a good wage, and be myself, most importantly. I wanted to heal my heart from that breakup and be independent, self-sufficient, get back to myself. So here are the tools, and here's what happened. I got quiet, I listened, I started blocking the blocks, the things that I knew that were stopping me from moving forward. Started putting up, barriers, or cutting them out, or banging the wall down. I got in my journal, and I did meditation every day. so I could get more and more clear about where I stood. And as I listened, I got the secret password by finding out what I really wanted. So in my journal, in my white papered lined journal with black ink, I figured out basically what I wanted my life to look like. I started sketching it out by writing in my journal and meditating and imagining every day. From these writings, I created affirmations. Like, I have a great paying job. I live in a dope ass loft. I date beautiful women. I have a car. You know, things that I was lacking in that moment, things that I really needed. Stable relationships, good friends around me, encouragement, and things of that nature. Number 3, I started to walk in it. Right past the velvet rope, right past those bouncers that trying to keep me out of my VIP room, my self-improvement. I just started walking in it like the shit was real. And within days, I got my first job offer. It was an entry-level thing, but within that year, less than that year actually, I became a brand manager at a marketing firm that my friends in Atlanta had built in my absence. And this new job had offered me plenty of money for self-sufficiency, to get my own apartment, to pay my own way in the world. And that felt good, to have this vision, and then all of a sudden I'm getting offered a job that literally helps people. It was a huge national campaign at the time that I was privileged to be a part of. And in that time, I was able to change lives. I was able to be of benefit to people. I was able to listen and give advice and help. All the things that, you know, are really important to me, I was now able to do, you know, in less than a year. That mind change, that situational adjustment that changed everything in my life from that point on. Oh, and by the way, I got a dope ass loft in Brooklyn. It was in my vision and it literally came to pass. And by the way, I dated 2 models. Not at the same time. What kind of guy do you think I am? But I'm saying all the things that I had in my vision came to pass. Shit is real. So basically, I went from homelessness to the truth. And for those that don't know, look it up. And again, if you look back to my story, I'm in my little apartment alone, writing in my journal and meditating and thinking about how I could do something that benefits people, pays me well, puts me in a position to have a loft and to have a car and to have some excess money and to date beautiful women. All of those things came to pass because I took charge of it. I found my alignment to the things that were important to me at that time and made moves. You can do it too. Mindfulness changed the game. I became mindful of what I was thinking and feeling from moment to moment. I saw what would foster my personal growth. I did my best to find alignment and to stay in alignment with the things that were important to me from day to day. And I pretended like everything was real. And within a year, it was all real. No cap. It's not hyperbole to say that finding alignment is the best glow up. If you want to be the VIP in your story, move in mindfulness for your best results for personal growth. Now you understand the secret. Finding alignment equals personal growth. If you haven't already, follow the steps that I talked about, 1, 2, 3s, right? And start creating your own mindful practice. Start living the life that you know you're born to live. Get into alignment with the things that you love and that love you back. Spend your time focused on the things that you have a talents and passion for and natural interest. Put all of your attention on those things and watch them grow. Watch how your life expands. Watch how you start to feel better and move different. Use those steps and start finding alignment for yourself. However, if you're the type of person who's going to continue blaming the world for not giving you the type of life that you think you deserve, then you don't deserve it. I'm gonna just keep it 1 with you. If that stings, do something. I double dog dare you. Do something. Really want you to take yourself seriously with this shit, because you're worth the trouble. Remember that. I'm done. But before you bounce, leave an ounce of wisdom in the comments below. Share your finding alignment story, because the comments that you leave, yeah, they benefit the channel, but they also benefit me. It's teaching me some stuff, gives me ideas. Which reminds me, if you've got ideas about something you want me to talk about, come back to Finding Alignment, because this is that spot. Like, share, subscribe. Share this with somebody that you think could use some help in finding their own alignment to things that are important to them. Or watch this next video. Give thanks for your time. Love.